County, and whereas the center is the receiving point for many alarm companies and all residential business and payphone calls of an emergency nature, offering touch telephone and telecommunication services for the deaf and my goodness, that's an interesting word.
Interpretations, sorry.
Thank you, Commissioner
Have to
Moore.
interpretate the interpretation.
Thank you, for up to 140 different languages, and whereas the agency also serves as the contact point for poison control, the Lorain County Dive Team, fire investigators, U.S. Coast Guard, and helicopter services, and whereas the agency has grown both in facility space and from 9 council positions to 15, with backup for primary service interruptions located at the Golden Acres building in Amherst Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lorain County Board of Commissioners declares September the 11th, we're just a little behind, 2004, the 15th anniversary of Lorain County's 911 agency, and commends its dedication to the continuing safety and well-being of all who reside and work in our county. Robin, I'm very proud to present this to you as the director, you also being one of the first of 3 employees who are still there. Come on down.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here. It is our 15th. I'm sorry. Is that better? No, not yet. It is our 15th anniversary. It is an agency to be very proud of. I'd like to thank the commissioners for taking the time to give us this proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Commissioners, just for the record, Robin started out down there as a telecommunicator, later became the supervisor, and then later became the director of that agency that she started out with. So it does show that hard work and dedication will get you someplace in life.
Madam Clerk?
Job and Family Services bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Advances and repayments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Travel expenses.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
There is no personnel under the...
Well, you didn't tell us about it.
I'll need an executive session for the discuss potential new hires.
We almost got away free of charge.
We need a second to go in exec, so let's see.
Okay.
Under the Commissioners, number 10, approve and enter into agreement with Lawston Durant Architects, Cleveland, Ohio, to perform architectural services for the emergency repairs and revisions to the design documents for the New York Central Train Depot, Elyria, Ohio. Authorize an appropriation of $9,500 to account 40006-0201-491501, Q Construction, Transportation, and the payment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Under Children and Families Council, instruct the clerk to advertise for proposals seeking from individuals or agencies to provide services to children ages 0 to 3, and I believe you like the word birth instead of 0.
No, we'll leave it at 0.
Under the Help Me Grow initiative.
We can leave it at 0.
Notice will be published in the Morning Journal on October 1st and 8th, and bids to be open at 2 p.m. on October 15th, 2004.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Under the prosecutor, authorize the filing of various grant renewals to the Attorney General's office for the victim Witness Program administered through the Lorain County Prosecutor's Office. One, $49,714 for 2 part-time advocates and 1 full-time Hispanic advocate. The grant is effective October 1st, 2004 through September 30th, 2005, with the local cash match of $16,571 from the County General Fund allocation account 00101-4901-492605, with a total request of $66,285. 2, $22,758 for a single advocate for the juvenile court grant is effective October 1st, 2004 through September 30th, 2006, with a local cash match of $7,586 from the County General Fund allocation account 00101-4901-492605, with a total request of $30,344.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
County Administrator? Mr. Cortez?
Again, make my request for an executive session to discuss personnel matters, specifically potential new hires. That's all I have this morning.
Mr. Ennis, Assistant County Prosecutor.
I have no report this morning.
Commissioners report.
Commissioner Moore?
Yeah, I was going to ask Jim, keep reading about this big surplus we have. I didn't know if you want, we kind of talked about it, and kind of gave you a heads up. I'd ask you about the big surplus that the county has, so.
And I appreciate the opportunity to address that, Commissioner Moore. It's, while clearly the county has done a little better than anticipated last year, we most assuredly don't have surplus money. Even with the generous restoration of the budgets by the commissioners, these departments still had mandated pay increases under union contracts of at least 1%, and some departments had more, and we cut 2.5% across the board. So that still left them a bit in the hole from where they thought they would be. The money definitely doesn't have to be spent, as it was indicated in some of the newspaper articles, and but there's obviously a need. But the word surplus gives to the taxpayers thinking that everything's fine down here and we have this big pool of money and we're just moving it around as to give away, and that's not accurate. It's not surplus, and you don't have surplus until you have money that exceeds your expenses, and we don't have money that's exceeding our expenses right now. I don't know any other clearer way of explaining it, but I do believe the word surplus is very misleading to the public. Thank you.
Thanks, that's all. Betty?
I'm trying to decide how I want to say this. Several years ago, the Lorain County Community Alliance sought to have one day of trick-or-treat in Lorain County. And this year they have chosen Sunday, October 31st from 6 to 7:30. So far we have the following who have agreed to have that time and date: Wellington, Grafton, Avon, Elyria, Avon Lake, Elyria Township, Oberlin, Vermillion, and LaGrange Township. Lorain and Sheffield Lake will have that date, but their times will be from 6 to 8. And Amherst will have that date, but their times will be from 5 to 7. We are waiting to hear from the rest of the entities in the county how they're going to handle it. So that's a start anyway. Thank you.
Old business?
I have none.
I have none.
Under the, number 1, under Common Pleas, support the hire, do you want me to read the res?
I'll read what you got.
Support the hiring of a court administrator in the amount of $70,000 plus benefits and a secretary in the amount of $40,581 plus benefits for Lorain County Common Pleas Court General Division. And then further be it resolved, Lorain County Board of Commissioners at this time is not supporting the appointment of the 6th judge in Lorain County Court of Common Pleas General Division.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Under Sanitary Engineer, number 2, decision on the Oberlin Road, Amherst Township Sewer Improvement Project 109.
I believe we were waiting for some figures. You had requested some figures, Commissioner Moore.
I believe Commissioner Vassy was asking for those figures,
Okay.
and we're waiting for her to get back.
Okay. I would be willing to
What?
go with the figures that Mr. Cordez had mentioned to us, which was one half of the prevailing interest at the time, which would probably be in the neighborhood of $70,000 or $75,000. You wish to do anything, or you wish to wait?
Well, I made my statement last week, and I think we're waiting on Commissioner Vassy to support yours or mine. And
Excuse me, sir, but we can't quite hear you.
I like that. Okay.
He was banking on
I
that.
was banking on that. Yeah. Okay, last week what happened, we had a nice long discussion, and I was hoping to move on it last week. Commissioner Vassy was requesting additional documents from Mr. Rokasi, who provided that information to all the commissioners. And I talked to one of the township trustees and asked them if they were still, when I got word last night that Commissioner Vassy was not going to be here, and whether or not the individuals would all like to show up. And still, knowing that I don't think anything's going to happen today because there's only 2 commissioners. So I think if anyone was here last week or saw the meeting last week, Commissioner Vassy's kind of looked like she was supporting the issue, or at least supporting my issue. And I don't think it'd be wise to vote today without Commissioner Vassy here.
Number 3.
Well, no, is that it?
Well, I don't even have a motion on the floor, so.
There was no motion.
Okay.
It was discussion.
Number 3, decision on the East River Road Carlisle Township Sewer Improvement Project 108. And I did note there that I did receive a letter dated on September 30th from Carlisle Township Board of Trustees regarding the second opinion from GRW Engineers, and they wanted to meet before the board before this date.
Well, they wanted to meet with us
Prior to this meeting.
prior to
I
today's
didn't get
meeting, but we didn't get the letter until
the 23rd.
the
Which was
23rd.
after last meeting, yes.
So what's that mean?
I don't know. I don't
So
know.
what's that mean?
I was dealing with a potential legal matter on the Overland sewer, so I wasn't paying attention. What was the issue on East River?
Well, they want us,
They wanted me prior to today's meeting.
the Carlisle Township Board of Trustees wishes to meet with the commissioners? Or do they wish to have a public discussion, or what's the story?
Well, when they meet with the commissioners, they got to meet in a public discussion, so...
Or do they want to meet with us one-on-one? Or, of course, if they're getting together, I guess they have to be a public meeting, don't they? 'Cause if they're-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my discussions with their folks yesterday were that they should come here today and discuss their proposal.
Are the Board of Trustees in agreement with that?
I see Mr. Wright is here. I don't know if any of the other trustees are here.
How many trustees are here from Carlisle? Just one?
Two.
No.
There's 2.
Bob White.
Oh, Bob White's here? Okay.
Come to the microphone if you choose, please.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning.
Jim.
Well, what we wanted to do was to be able to sit down with everyone involved and discuss the issues. And it may take, I don't think anybody's prepared to do that this morning, but would there be a specific time when we could take care of these
Are you talking
issues?
about maybe having an administrative meeting in which the commissioners, I don't think we've had any this year, have we?
No.
Okay. Is that what you're asking, maybe, to have one where, although it's a public meeting, it's not...
Right, that way all the cards can be
and
put
it's a
out on the
public,
table.
so the people can show up and attend and...
Right.
Okay.
I have a question. Jerry. The packet that you gave us included Callahan Drive. Callahan Drive has not been a part of the published notices and hearings that we held to date. Where does that leave us?
You know, if there's any expansion of the project, we would have to go through the complete procedure with that.
Start over?
The way things have been given to you is, there was an exact duplicate of 108, and then there was a Callahan Drive proposal, and then there's another proposal after that, which would encompass the whole area. But there is an apples-to-apples comparison.
There is.
Yes.
And you wish to discuss that in a public meeting?
All right.
The only
Did we already close this public meeting?
Yes, and the only difference in their East River proposal was like $5.
Well, I think there's the potential for a great deal of money to be saved for the Carlisle residents, and I think it behooves us to look into this issue.
But not specifically for the East River portion.
Well, specifically for the East River and on to Callahan and on to the whole area in the future.
When's our first, when would be our scheduled administrative, had we had?
Commissioners, I'm Bob White, also one of the trustees. I think if you do take a look at the proposal, there are different options that are there that, as Jim indicated, would save the township residents a lot of money. The reason that the Callahan Drive area was included in that was an earlier proposal that was considered by the commissioners but was tabled later on. With respect to the 108, which is being considered at this point in time, there's also a potential $2,600 savings there for the Callahan Drive residents because of the fact that they would have had to hook up to the Elyria City system, and it would have cost them $2,600 in order to do that for the tap-in fee. And so there is a substantial savings there potentially with the third scenario that we provided to you. So what we're doing is just providing you with several different scenarios there to consider, to look at the entire package as a whole rather than looking at the one isolated proposal, number 108, that's before you right now. And in order to best serve the interests of all of the residents of that whole area that are certainly the people that we have to serve in Carlisle Township, we are asking that the commissioners take a look at it and just so you can make an informed decision about whether or not this project should go forward in the way that is currently structured or whether it should be looked at with all the different options that we provided to you.
Mr. White, are you aware that that service area belongs to
Yes,
Elyria,
we're aware.
correct?
We
And
are aware of that.
That proposal that was submitted clearly takes that waste into Lorco.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the third. We've given you 3 different proposals. That's
Okay.
one of them.
Right.
But that is correct. And so that would have to be something that would have to be worked out or litigated, potentially.
We could spend years doing that.
Sounds good to me. Amen.
Okay.
So we're just asking, basically, to recap, just to step back for a second consideration of this whole thing. Take a look at all the options that we've provided. Because, for instance, on that Callahan Drive project, which I know is off the table right now, if we did go with the third option there, that could potentially save those people $16,000 per household. So I think it needs to be considered, at least by the commissioners, and give proper thought.
When does your crystal ball tell you that that might be a reality?
Well, from what the Lorco people are telling us, it would be 2 years at a minimum, because they are committed to their first 2 phases of Lorco. So it would be down the road, but at the same time, you're talking about saving each household $16,000, Commissioner Blair. And so, if we could at least consider that, and the commissioners would have time to make a decision about whether it's wise to go forward, go down that road or not.
And you can't do that and take care of the East River where the sewer is already in the ground and hook up now. You can't do that both.
I don't believe that it can go that way, no. That's my understanding of it, unless you have a different understanding.
It's not the wise thing to do. But I think this discussion that we're having right now is what the entities need to do is to sit down and discuss this, so all the cards on the table and everybody understands where they stand. Right now, it's not really clear. And I think one meeting can certainly air all those concerns, and everybody would be up and running and knowing what's expected of one another.
You mean one meeting could clarify everything?
I'm sorry?
We've had several.
Well,
Are you telling, let me ask you this, if we have one, I was talking to the clerk regarding when it would be our next administrative meeting, that would be September 12th. That would be the next scheduled one.
October.
That's what, yeah, I know, that's what I wanted to say, but 70s weren't good to me, so. So yeah, we could probably do November 12th.
What year?
Hold on.
We're running out of time.
Trying to push it a little bit there.
Put it 2005.
Yeah, let's do it in 05. Now, if I do it, what,
November 12th
October,
is a
what's
Friday,
October 12th is what, a Tuesday?
October 12th
Is a
is
Tuesday?
a Tuesday.
And I think we usually schedule them for 9:30.
Is that a
There is
holiday?
there is a solid waste meeting that morning, though.
They could move.
They have all that space over there where they're at now.
What about the first Tuesday?
That's next Tuesday, which is the
The
5th.
12th, the 5th? You want to do it the 5th?
That's next week. Okay. The 5th open.
No, I want to make sure we have 3 commissioners.
The 12th.
I think at that point, we will have 3 commissioners. Don't you think?
I have no problem.
I know, I'm just taking a coin. I think it's a little bit, I would like to do it on the 12th. I thought we're scheduled to do it on the second Tuesday of every month.
You know, it's all room, the 12th is great.
I know, but
It depends.
I'll find another place.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting. Is that okay with you, Betty? 9:30?
Yes. October the 12th, is that all right with you?
And what's expected of this meeting? I'd like to have a format and see what you guys think is expected. How's that? Are you looking to do a
I think what we're-
presentation on what we have, or?
I think that we would like to have the engineering firm or representative of the engineering firm that we provided the second opinion through here, and have that person have an opportunity to discuss it. You may want to have the engineering firm from the county here and just basically go over the proposals, and so you can make an informed decision about whether or not you should go forward with this sewer project as it's presented now.
Okay. The only concern I have is that there's more projects into this. So that would be the only issue. If you can somehow come out with Project 108, discuss that, and then I don't want to get it all muddied up with 3 or 4 projects, that's all. Because sometimes that kind of can...
But I think that's part of their intention. They're talking about laying it all out on the table, so they're not just going to talk about one
Oh, no,
way.
I understand, but I want to make
Okay.
sure, we kind of make sure that we discuss it in at least a structured format so that we may, if the end game at the end says, okay, it makes sense to do it as a whole, then that's the end. But if you can somehow, if you guys would do your presentation, I'd like to see at least, let's deal with that issue, because then we're going to end up with, what I'm afraid of, and I think what might happen is, I don't want to have this, but we might end up having a discussion on whether or not Lorico or the county should be doing sewers. And it sounds like that's a discussion we're going to be having.
And that will be a discussion for some day in the future, if in
Yeah.
fact we approve it.
Right.
And it involves people other than yourselves and us and our county engineer in the back. It involves City of Lurie down the street.
Right.
And
But I
I remember how the rural sewer district in Cleveland was formed through the courts. And that may be the way this goes.
Okay, so October 12th,
9:30.
9:30?
9:30? Did Mr. Phillips want us to say something, or he just holding your hand?
As long as it's going to be continued October 12th, then I don't have anything additional to say.
I don't think it's going to be continued. I think that's just the administrative discussion point. They'll need to set a date for Oberlin and East River before they leave today, because they have to notify the residents of a potential date for decision. That's just a discussion with Carlisle.
Why don't we do that now? Let's do both projects on the 14th of October.
That's fine if that's what you want to do. We do have an annexation that day. We do have a public hearing on subdivision regulations that day.
I thought we had
have
one.
a CIC meeting that morning.
That'll be a full agenda.
Oh, it's going to be a nice agenda. How about the following week?
We just have one public hearing at 10 o'clock.
Let's do
21st?
that.
So let's move both project 108 and 109 to October 21st. And we're having a discussion on project 108 on October 12th
And that's-
at 9:30.
That's not a public hearing, that's a discussion.
Okay?
Yes.
An open public discussion on the administration meeting on October 12th. And we don't need a resolution, right? We just...
No.
Okay.
But we do have to notify the residents of this.
You do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was what Ms. Anderson was talking about.
Okay. A lot of stamp money.
Okay, Jerry?
Yeah, public discussion, October 12th, 9:30, and vote at the October 21st Commissioners meeting, 9:30. That's fine.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Under new business, is there anything from the commissioners?
I have none.
Just number one that's noted under Community Development Department, authorize the amendments to Lorain County subdivision regulations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Board correspondence?
I move the reading be
Second.
waived.
Discussion. Ms.
None.
Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore? Public comment?
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the board? If so, come to the microphone and state your name.
I see none.
Well, Shirley, if you want to talk, hurry up. Shirley.
I'm sorry, because my comments were, I didn't finish writing what I wanted to say.
I'll bet you can say it anyway.
Speaking as a citizen, a member of the League of Women Voters and the ACLU, and as a nonpartisan, I feel that voter registration drive efforts should have come as no surprise to anyone, particularly to anyone in elected office or authority. We would have hoped that any and all efforts requested appropriately would have been treated appropriately and with respect. According to the newspaper accounts, that has not been the case. And then I didn't finish writing what I wanted to say.
Please. Psst. Carry your conversation on out in the hall.
What am I supposed to do?
Keep going.
Not you.
According to the newspaper accounts, this has not been the case, and I would hope that some kind of immediate efforts could be made to make that possible as far as the jail is concerned.
Thank you, Shirley. Councilman?
Good morning. Excuse me. My name's Ron Rimbert. I'm from Oberlin, and I'm with Oberlin Votes. We had a grassroots project which was basically to register any and all who wanted to vote, and that's what we've been working on for the last 5 months, and it's been very successful. At the end of the process, every time we would meet, we would try to figure out where people were at that possibly hadn't voted and wanted the opportunity to vote. Eventually, it came down to incarcerated people. We looked at the Lorain County Jail, and I'd just like to say that the captain there, Captain James, and sorry if I don't get his name correct, Drzymski, and their staff and the sheriff, they were helpful in the process as the process went along, and we appreciate that as the process. I also like to say that we, as Oberlin Votes, we understand that the county jail is not a playground. We truly understand that. We understand why the people are there. so we understand those particular features. One thing that was somewhat disturbing is, and obviously, whenever you're looking at voting, it's education. And I think as a county, in our future, if we're going to look at Lorain County being a leader of counties, as we're in our tri-area, then I think we have to look at certain things, and voters' rights are very important. I don't care if you're in the outside or you're incarcerated. It's important that people have the right, and they have the education to understand that they have a right, even if they are setting